June metal detecting finds. I found these things in the Phoenix, or well, I should say Arizona. I found these things in Arizona. On this side, you'll see some bottles. I did dig at some dumps, so I found bottles, pennies. I found a lot of spoons. You'll see a bunch of spoons. Now, most of these are Denny's spoons. About half of them are Denny's spoons. Just start right over here. So these bottles didn't get cleaned up. These are 10-ounce Coke bottles, straight side. So there's probably a little bit of value there. That's an old bourbon bottle. It says not for reuse or cannot refill against federal law. So that's a Prohibition era bottle. Now these four I've actually had the chance to clean. This is my favorite. Here's an old Coke bottle, but it doesn't have the location name on the bottom. That was common for them to put the location name where they were bottled back in the day. Couple of Pepsi bottles here. Now this one was made in Roseburg, Oregon. So that's super exciting, because usually when you do find these, they're small. 12 ounce is a very uncommon size to have that with the name. They were usually 10-ounce bottles. A couple other little bottles that I found. Some quarters, some dimes, some nickels, some pennies, buttons, and keys. Here's a little tin for like a makeup maybe, or maybe a pill container, and an old 1912 shotgun shell. I find those from time to time. Now I found a steak knife and a knife handle. These do not go together, but they kind of look like they could. I found 3 lipsticks, 2 padlocks. Now this one's quite interesting. This is a modern one, but this is an old school one. The maker is Schwartz or Schmidt or something. An old piece of some kind of valve. And I found a couple little pieces of lead, but this is the biggest piece of lead I've ever found. This is a couple of pounds of lead. Moving along. Now I found a couple of old shells. These are old, 4070, I think. And this is really fun. So I find brass all the time, spent brass. But if you look, you'll notice the primer is intact on it. So it just does not have powder or a lead. Very weird. Here I have a jeans rivet. And then some very interesting items right in here. So this is just a steel chain. This is a gold-filled ring with a nice little stone. These are copper with a little piece of glass or CZ. This earring looks pretty good, but it is not gold. And then this looks kind of good, and it might have been some at one point. It was probably zinc that was silver plated, is what I'm kind of getting as a read there. Lots of marbles. Some of those are pretty interesting. Some of them glow. Some of them are old. And then here we found a couple of old Lincoln cents. One of them is 1959, which is the first year that they went from the wheat penny version to the traditional memorial on the back. I think that's 59. And here we have a Mexican coin. This is a Thunderbird car wash token. Here's another token that looks good on one side. I thought it was an old quarter at first, but at no cash value, no dice, nothing cool. Here's a Jungle Gyms Playland token. This is a business in Phoenix that went out of business in 2018, so they will never make those again. And here's what they call a comic token. Chickens get laid, and people do too who aren't chicken. So that looked like a really neat token at first. Come to find out, it's called a comic coin, and I feel like it's kind of stupid, but well, everybody's got their opinion, I guess. This was a really exciting find. I could barely make out that this was. I'm like, oh, it's like an old penny or something. Yeah, it is. In fact, an Indian head cent from 1895. Can just barely make it out. That's the oldest coin I've ever found. And then I think this is a little piece of gold, like a watch pin. And then this is 14 karat, little tiny chain. It's about 1.2 grams, so it's worth about $60, $50 to $60. So that's actually the most possibly valuable thing here. Anyway, that's what I found in June. Metal detecting in Arizona. I say metal detecting, but it involves some metal detecting and some dump digging. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave in the comments any pictures of things or just the name of any neat thing you found in June. Love to hear from you. And take care.